Nancy Pelosi is on the hot seat because her job is basically mission impossible. She has to somehow keep the liberal wing of her party happy without letting the entire Democratic Party be defined as a bunch of socialists. Because the reason Nancy Pelosi is Speaker again is the 40-seat pickup last November included a lot of moderate districts. Now, the latest controversy has to do with Ilhan Omar. She, of course, is the freshman Muslim congresswoman who's already had to apologize once for making anti-Semitic comments. Now she's involved in a real bitter battle, a war of words with President Trump. What happened is she was talking about how she believes Muslims in America are treated as second-class citizens, and she made this reference to 9/11 about some people did something. The conservative media sort of went crazy over it, and President Trump has been attacking her both in interviews and on Twitter, saying things like, that she's very, very bad for this country, that she shows great disrespect for America, disrespect for Israel and all of that, and putting up a video, a controversial video, in light of some of the death threats that Omar has been receiving, showing the burning Twin Towers interspersed with her remarks. All of this has put a lot of pressure on the Speaker, who has tried to make clear that even though people like Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib get an awful lot of attention and attract an awful lot of followers on social media, they don't define the Democratic Party. She is trying to keep the Democratic Party, this is ironic, she's a San Francisco liberal, a little bit more to the center left than to the far left. But what's fascinating here is that now, according to the Washington Post, the far left's frustration with Pelosi is on the rise. And some of Omar's allies didn't like the way Pelosi handled the whole battle between Omar and Trump. At first, Nancy Pelosi put out a statement that criticized President Trump but didn't mention Omar by name. Then she put out a somewhat stronger statement on Monday, or made comments saying that what the president was doing was beneath the dignity of the Oval Office. Well, that's too much. Too little, too late, say Omar's allies. At the same time, 60 Minutes on Sunday aired an interview with the Speaker in which she was asked about AOC, and it was kind of a jibe. She says, well, her wing of the party is like 5 people. And that, of course, didn't make the left happy either. The bottom line here is Donald Trump would love nothing more than to run against the Democrats in 2020 as a party of a bunch of crazy socialists. He talks about crazy Bernie. That was his tweet after Sanders appeared at the Fox News town hall. He's often taking aim at either AOC or now Ilhan Omar. And here's what he did as a way of jabbing Pelosi. Because remember, Donald Trump has not directly attacked Nancy Pelosi. She has no nickname. And so he writes, before Nancy, who has lost all control of Congress and is getting nothing done, decides to defend her leader, Rep. Omar, she should look at the anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, and ungrateful U.S. hate statements Omar has made. She is out of control, except for her control of Nancy. So what he does is he's criticizing Pelosi, but he's not saying she did anything terrible. He says she can't control her caucus, and she's Omar's puppet. This is why it's not a lot of fun being Nancy Pelosi these days. She's also got all these very liberal presidential candidates talking about Medicare for all, a Green New Deal. She is trying to keep the image of the party to be the image of a smart center-left party that won those 40 seats. But presidential politics and people like Omar are kind of making that impossible. And that's why people on the left right now are unhappy with their leader.